It's time for the champs. The champs are here. Oklahoma City Thunder. They have one of the best options in fantasy. Let's just see if he can make anyone else any better. Mike, welcome to Ball Logic, your favorite daily podcast. Brody, we're here with the Oklahoma City Thunder. Did you watch the championship series last year?
I watched enough of it. It went down closer than I think everybody expected. I don't think Indiana really should have been in it anywhere near as much as they were, but in the end, I think the team that should have won it ended up winning it, and credit to them. But I don't think it should have been a game 7.
I've got beef with this. And do you want to know what it is?
Tell me.
When they won, they didn't look excited. They weren't like pouring Corona cans into each other's mouths. They weren't popping that vino. I have beef with this team for that reason. They're like, oh, we started training the week after. I fucking hate that. And
No.
I'm probably struggling with liking the OKC Thunder. Give me some realism. Give me what I want.
Yeah, exactly. Don't treat it like a job. Treat it like it's your life, and you have just achieved the pinnacle. You gotta enjoy the shit, and you can't not. And yeah, to go back to training a week later, come on, guys.
And like the fans, like I am a huge fan of like Klay Thompson getting up on the floats, absolutely blind, like Draymond Green doing all that. And I understand that there's a professionalism that you can't have like Michael Jordan with the cigars like that on TV as much anymore. But get excited because like they've done it for OKC, they've done it for Seattle. Look, I was a bit disappointed in that, but I mean, I'm not going to be disappointed in this team. They've got 3 guys in their starting lineup that will be taken in your draft's top 30. And that's, I suppose, expected when you've got, in my opinion, 3 really good players, a fuck ton of elite role players that play their role well, which for fantasy, we're probably going to try dig down and see who you can draft there because there are some obvious favorites.
Yeah, there are some obvious guys. It's a nice and easy, obvious top 3 for these guys. There's no blurred lines. People know their roles in this team, and it does make them easy to draft. So everybody else sort of is on the same page here. So I don't think there's going to be anything greatly unexpected. But there is some great depth here you can pick up in some deeper leagues, or even around the 168 if you want to take an option. Because a lot of guys pick up their last round and then drop the guy straight away anyway. So if you want to take a flyer on somebody, there's last round for that.
Yeah, and like last round, you end up holding somebody, an injury happens early, and these guys are going to be the waiver wire pickups if you do have some injuries. Look, let's just. You said something really interesting off air when we were talking about this episode before, and it was like nothing's changed. The disrespect to Alex Dukas, who just signed with the Brisbane Bullets, is insurmountable in my mind. But I'm probably go on.
Take me up on baseline jumper on that, mate. Not here. On here, NBA wise, nothing's changed.
Mate, look, I'm gonna start at the 1 spot, the point guard, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. You're honestly finals MVP, the works, the cover. I would say player of the NBA at the moment, and for good reason. He played 34 minutes per game, shot the ball above 50%. Is at least top 2 all time in getting to the line. Probably the best. I don't know. Prom Harden was pretty good as well, but he is extremely crafty when it comes to talking the refs into what he wants. You can't. There's a clear top 3 for me when it comes to fantasy basketball, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's right there.
Yeah, I think he's my 3rd. I think there's an argument to take him at 2. I don't think there's a big argument to take him at 1. I think that's a bit of a bold call. Like he's not really punting anything with this guy. Turnovers maybe slightly, but I'd still rather the Jokic build instead of the Shea build. But at two or three, I think SGA's got a big conversation we had there, and if he makes it to 4 somehow, you got kissed.
If Shay's somebody that you really, really want, can I recommend a little bit of a, say you've got the 1 or 2 pick? Can I recommend a little bit of a strategy? You have a chat to the person at number 3 or 4, trade down, move up in a later draft pick, have a little gentleman's agreement, and move up in a later draft pick and do the trade after the draft. It's something that I do in Sleeper when it comes to NFL, and I think it's probably underutilized in NBA.
Yeah, I think for sure if you want to do a Shea build and you got 1, there's the ability to get out of those final few rounds and get into, get out of, a 13, 14 and get yourself a couple in the 10 instead. I think some guys would be willing to make some big moves there. So I'd be happy to trade back.
Yeah, absolutely. Mate, is there anything you can really say about Shea? Like, I think with the clear number 3, my number 4 currently on the board is Luka Doncic. Like, yeah, there is a world where he can have a better season than SGA, but I think it would take a lot of things. Like, you've got some usage guys on that Lakers team, whereas like Jalen Williams can do a lot without the ball. Chet can do a lot without the ball, and basically all these other players, the ball stops at Shea, and yeah, he's just, to have such an elite team where the usage you mentioned is this high is a bit of an outlier.
Yeah, exactly. And the usage is high. It's going to stay high. He's MVP of the league. He got 32 points last year on great efficiency. He got to the line, shot it well. Like, there's no reason to change anything here. I think the big thing is, and probably for people playing who watch a lot of NBA and play a lot of fantasy, just because you might hate the way he plays and he gets to the line because he's divides a lot of NBA fans on the way he plays, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't be drafting him in fantasy. Put fantasy aside, he's a great fantasy player.
Yep, yeah, 100%. You can't talk me out of Shea in that top 3. So that's probably a little bit too obvious, even though it's sexy to talk about the big picks. Let's move on to something that isn't that sexy, and it's the shooting guard position. So I always think when it comes to their OKC Thunder that whatever guard that they get there is to draw some attention of Shea. Maybe usually defend their best player and stand in the corner and shoot threes. And Lugens Dort is probably that guy for me that does start at shooting guard. If you told me that a Wiggins or an Isaiah Joe or a Cason Wallace or someone did get the starting 2, then I wouldn't be talked out of it. A starting player in the championship team would usually mean that this guy is a high draft pick. But last year, 28 minutes a night, 10 points per game, 166th ranked player. You couldn't. This guy's a streamer, and that's all he is.
Yep. And I think we're fine with that. And as long as, like, he is the definition of knowing your role. Just because he's a starter doesn't mean he needs to take over a game. His job is to make sure that he's held accountable and punishes people when he has to. But other than that, he's just there to play his role there, stretch the floor, give J-Dub plenty of room, give SGA room, and that's his role. And he knows it, and it's the definition of unselfish. And see that a lot across a lot of sports and a lot of great teams over the years is somebody who knows their role, and that is the definition of it. You think about Rodman back in prime Bulls, he had his role, he knew his role, and he did his role. And he's talked about really, really highly because of that. So just knowing what you got to do and doing it, Lou Dort, that's the guy.
Yep. Going a small forward, I'm looking at Jalen Williams. Look, this guy, even in fantasy, can play a lot of positions. Like, to be completely honest, for matchups, if you had Alex Caruso in the starting lineup and you had him playing at shooting guard or Jalen playing at shooting guard, it's a little bit of positionless basketball outside of the 1 and the 5 for me. But Jalen Williams last year, the 26th ranked player, his ADP last year was quite low. So Jalen Williams was actually winning people a lot of leagues. 21 points per game, 5 assists, still gets steals, still gets blocks, a little bit out of position as well. Look, I love the guy. I've taken him in mocks that sort of second round because you start to take all the injured guys out, like Hallie and Dame and all those guys that are missing. I'm not high on Cat and stuff like that this year as well. Jalen Williams for me moves into the second round, so yeah, I can get around it. I think you know what we get from him, and he's kind of what it says on the tin now.
Yeah, exactly. I think he's just he's a 90% of Shea. If you look at a lot of his numbers, it's just Shea's numbers just stepped down. Like looking at hashtag basketball's report on him last year, everything that was green for Shea is green for him. What was red for him was turnovers. The same for Shea. It's the same thing, copy paste, just a little bit less of it. So I'm happy for that, and I don't mind that. And I think he's a if you still haven't committed to a punt yet in round 2, I think he's a great round 2 pickup. You're still keeping a nice balanced team, and then you can work out the punt in round 3 if you choose to go that way.
To be honest, like you look at these top 3 guys, and I'm going to lead into the power forward in Chat Holmgren. I don't think you need to punt anything there as well. Like you're getting a power forward or a center. I believe he's going to be eligible for both. And look, getting low assists and steals at 0.7 from your power forward / center isn't that painful. He's one of 5 guys in the league that can get above that 2 blocks per game. Mate, he is a solid pickup, probably in the early third for me, though.
Yeah, I think he's great value there as well. I think the biggest thing for him, and I've had to look through some numbers, and the biggest stuff is when he's played over 30 minutes a game, his numbers just go up. We've got a nice bump in stocks by nearly 1 stock a game over his over the games under 30 minutes. 3.5 boards more, 6 points a game more when he's playing 30+ minute games versus the ones that are under 30. So him getting his body right and being able to play 30+ is integral to him being a value pick. And I think he could comfortably creep into early part of second round come the end of the year. If we start looking at ranks, if I seen him ranked as 15th, 16th, I'm not going to be shocked.
Is this his 3rd year in the league now?
Pretty sure, yeah, third year for him now. So yeah, just the
start,
injuries. Like he only played 32 games last year, which again, a lot of people look past that. They see the low games, the managed minutes for him. Yeah, it's just that's what it is for him. You just need to make sure he's healthy, and getting those minutes into him is key.
Absolutely, mate. Look, Isaiah Hartenstein rounds out that starting 5 for me. Again, not a sexy pick, but kind of at the back end of the value in centers for me. I'm starting to see a big run of centers start to happen in that 4th, 5th, 6th round. And after everybody gets excited about your Mark Williams and all those guys, the guys in and around that range. My next tier. Yeah, Zubac, everyone like that. My next tier sort of starts with Isaiah Hartenstein. And look, you know what you're going to get from him. You're not going to get 30 minutes per night, but I would be taking him above like your DeAndre Aytons. I'd be taking him above, a fair few blokes like that if you had to put him on a list. But look, 10 rebounds and will continue to get that, in my opinion.
I think he's more of a known quantity, and that's what a lot of people are going to like here is the known quantity in him. Like he's going to come back and do the same thing again last year. He shot the ball well at 58% last year. If you've picked up 2 guards that are high scorers and good assists earlier on in rounds 1, 2, 3, getting him later on in the draft, he's going to fill your boards. He'll punish your 3-point makes, and his free throws aren't great, but what else do you expect from somebody that plays a center?
Yeah.
Other than that, he feels what you want out of a center.
I agree. Like, I'm not disappointed at all if I end up getting Isaiah Hartenstein. Mate, there's a whole lot of, honestly, in my opinion, like Alex Caruso is your 6th man. He's not a guy that I can find draftable because he plays, kind of fills in for Shea a little bit, is a little bit of a Swiss Army knife for this team to get that energy up. I can't draft him, even though he is he's getting drafted in standard formats. Cason Wallace is getting drafted, but again, I can't draft someone that gets me 9, 3, and 2. Like that's just he's a name now because he's won a championship. Your Wiggins, your Isaiah Joe. Honestly, man, I can't get too excited about any of these other guys, which might make this a short and honestly a bit of a shitty episode, but it is short and concise because we believe there's not too many changes.
There's no changes really here that's of relevance. A lot of pretty much all their off season was just signing guys on maxes. That's all they did. Hung out and paid some bills here. And the three guys you need to know about are SGA, J-Dub, and Chet. Grab iHark in as a late center pickup. He's great there for boards. And there's nothing else really relevant here unless you see an injury or you need a late streaming option. That's it. Really, like Lou Dort, 2.4 3-point makes last year. I don't mind him as a 3-point streamer on 4 game weeks.
Yeah, I'm with you. Like, doesn't ruin you with the turnovers. So yeah, if he's playing a heap of games, you can get him. Just doesn't hurt you. And look, mate, look, I know that was a bit of a boring episode, but that is just the OKC in my opinion. So
yeah, that's pretty much them, mate. There's nothing to it really. Nothing different at least.
No, let's draw a line through them. You've listened to another Ball Logic podcast. Cheerio.